RotoBallers, what's going on? It is time for RotoBaller Game Day live here for week 4. Super excited for today. Lots of good information coming your way as always. Ready to get going for another exciting week. Hopefully not too many surprises like we've had in the last couple of weeks, but we're ready to roll out this week with a lot of great information and get you all set leading up until game time. We're here at 1 o'clock for you. As always, I'm joining you today, Kyle Richardson, Senior Fantasy Analyst at RotoBaller.com. And if your screen looks a little bit weird, do not adjust it. That's okay. We have a special guest joining us. We've got the host of our Sirius XM show, RotoBaller Radio, joining us today, and RotoBaller co-founder, Real Talk, Raph. Raph, what's going on, man?
Doing well, my man. Yes, sorry, kids. I know that I have a face for radio, but today we're going to be doing it live here. So, Jake, I appreciate you letting me hold it down. And Kyle, you're the man. So ready to go, fresh off of the morning show here on Sirius XM. So a lot to talk about.
Yeah, lots and lots and lots to talk about. And it seemed like all week long as I was updating the spreadsheet in terms of injuries and things like that, it was just one after another, after another, after another. So tons of information to talk about when it comes to injuries today. As always, we're going to be taking your questions. So stick around if you're in the chat right now. Stay around, keep popping those questions in and out there. We will make sure that we are answering those. Want to make sure that we get through all of our stuff to start the show real quick. As always, make sure you're headed to rotoballer.com, the go-to place for all of your fantasy football needs. Throughout the beginning of the week, you can find all of our waiver wire recommendations there. So if you need to hit the waiver wire next week, you can find everything that you need on the website, articles for every single position and overall. Make sure if you have start-sit questions, we're going to get to as many as we can today, but also pop up another window as well. Head over to rotoballer.com, tools, start-sit. Use that tool. Great. Pulls right from our rankings there, and we have a lot of great rankers on the website, so we're excited for that. Make sure that you use that today as well. Any articles that we have posted coming right there as well, and download the RotoBaller Fantasy Football app too. Put that right on your phone, Android, Apple, whatever you have, you can use that today. Mine's going off right now because I get all the injury alerts sent right to my phone, and like I said, we have lots of injuries this week, so
too many.
Is buzzing like crazy right now. And then, as always, RotoBaller YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you like the video real quick. Let's push this thing all the way up to the top of the views this week. We're excited. A lot of views last week. We want to break that again this week. So keep liking, keep subscribing, and make sure you tune in all week for the episodes that will be dropping. So I think we just need to get right into the injuries because there are so many of them. And right before we came on here, Victor, yes, Jake is questionable today. Literally just ruled out. So
he was a game time decision, but yes.
Game time decision. So Jake had a previous engagement he's taking care of today, but he's in the chat. He is in the chat, so he's
what's up, Jake?
Today. So don't worry, he will be in and out throughout the day. Let's jump over to these injuries real quick. So really, the only quarterback injury, Blaine Gabbert had a concussion issue, but Marcus Mariota is going to start. So either way, I don't think we're really touching that to begin with. So we're not going to talk about that too much. Aaron Rodgers with the knee, questionable every week. He's good to go though, so he'll be playing. Over at wide receiver, so DeAndre Hopkins, he has been questionable all week. It looks like he's going to be playing. Keenan Allen's going to be playing. The three main ones that are going to be out, Devontae Parker, Randall Cobb, and Anthony Miller. Randall Cobb is out this week, so we're going to talk about him here in a minute. Doug Baldwin, Josh Gordon, both questionable all week. Sounds like they're both going to play. We're going to talk about Baldwin a little bit more as well. Golden Tate was a late add yesterday, is questionable, but everything that we've seen so far appears that he will be in his lineup. And Alshon Jeffrey getting his first playing time today. He's been questionable all week. He will be out there. Over to running back, Marlon Mack, questionable with a hamstring. Jeremy McNichols was promoted from the taxi squad, though, so that's not looking for him. More than likely, he will be out.
Marlon Mack out, by the way, official. I just want to...
Official, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Marlon Mack.
Going up, yes.
Leonard Fournette has been questionable all week. He is ready to go. He is going to be playing today. Matt Breida and Alfred Morris have been questionable all week. Both will be ready to go today. Breida is a little bit more healthier, though, is what we hear, than Morris right now. I think we need to fire him up this week. Chris Carson was a game-time decision, but I read just a little bit ago, it looks like he's going to go today. Corey Clement is out. Darren Sproles is out. So Jay Ajayi, who has been also questionable with a, we'll call it fracture, in his back, is going to appear to get a decent workload today as well. And then LaShawn McCoy will today, even though he's been limited all week. And Rob Gronkowski was also a late add with an ankle issue. He is also going to be playing today. So that's really running down all of the injuries real quick, just firing through those to kind of get you up to date on where some of those players are standing if you haven't done that yet. So let's expand on a few of these. So Raph, Doug Baldwin missed the first 2 weeks, knee problems. Pete Carroll all week long said, nope, he's looking good. He looks ready to go. If you have Doug Baldwin, are you putting him in your lineup today?
Let me answer it this way. If you own Tyler Lockett in PPR, he's a must start. Doug Baldwin is the man, but Doug Baldwin's not going to be Doug Baldwin this year. He's probably not going to have separation out of the line. It's going to be a tough go for him. He's got multiple knee injuries. Both knees are banged up. Guys, yes, Doug Baldwin has to be played if he's starting, but if you're in a 12-team PPR league, honestly, don't expect more than flex play wide receiver numbers, WR3 numbers. If he does better, great, but that's not something you could bank on right now. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Yeah, I would be hesitant. I got a lot of questions this week. Do I put Doug Baldwin in my lineup? And if you have better choices,
right,
say no. Leave him on your bench. Don't worry about it for today. Let's see what he looks like. Let's maybe give him even 2 weeks. Honestly, if you are really thin, though, and you don't have any other options, then yes, then go ahead and stick him in there. Just don't be expecting like high wide receiver 2 numbers. I'm thinking maybe wide receiver 3 flex play at the best. But again, we need to see what's going on there before we start to jump too much back on the Doug Baldwin train. So that is one that we're keeping an eye on over the next couple of weeks. What about Jay Ajayi this week? It looks like he is going to be the guy in the backfield. Corey Clement's going to be out. Darren Sproles is going to be out. He's going to get a huge workload. Are we safe putting him in our lineups?
Yeah, so I don't like NFL teams talking about broken backs, because when you have a broken back, you don't do anything. You don't play football for sure. In fact, what I said to Kyle in the pre-show is not one other NFL team would report a guy having a fracture in his back and then have him out on the field. He'd be on IR. I'm sorry. That doesn't make any sense. So either the severity of the injury is less than it sounds bad, or this is just complete and utter, malfeasance and just bad play by the Eagles. We'll find out soon enough. But you're right. If he's in the lineup, if he's suiting up, I don't care about what they're reporting this as. I don't know about this, in quotes, fracture of his back. Let's just roll him out this week and see what happens. I need to use him as a desperation play RB2 in a PPR league. I don't feel that weird about it this week because the volume should be there. It's just a question of his health holding up, Kyle.
Yeah, and you asked me, I think the question before the show was Philip Lindsay in PPR or Jay Ajayi, and I stuttered for a second because I was like,
a close one.
It should just be Jay Ajayi, really, but gotta think about it for a second. And I only have one share of him. He was not a guy that I was high on coming into the season. I knew the workload would be there, but I was worried about potential injuries like we're seeing right now. Lots of different things. So, like you said, if you have him and you're putting him in your lineup today, I think you're okay because he'll get more than enough volume. There's not really, Wendell Smallwood, I guess, could take some touches away from him, but
could
really see a whole lot of that happening. So I would expect him to put up decent numbers. It's just, I think there's an odd feeling when you have to do that this week.
Yeah, if you have Christian McCaffrey on bye, Chris Thompson on bye, that's one of the teams that I have to use Jay Ajayi in. So I was already deep at running back. So I don't feel weird when my top 2 guys or, 2 of my top 3 guys are on bye and I have to use Jay Ajayi. But if Jay Ajayi is your legit RB2, you really have no choice. You have to start him this week.
Yeah. So let's jump over to the Green Bay Packers. So I want to talk about them here for a second. Randall Cobb out today. He will not be playing. So what are we doing with John Allison? Do we think that he is a high wide receiver 2 play this week?
A high wide receiver 2 play is tough, but he's definitely a WR2 in PPR formats this week. It's a volume proposition, and it's still Aaron Rodgers. You're still attached to Aaron Rodgers, who practiced in full, and I'm feeling good about it. I think he's getting a little healthier. The chemistry's building. The opportunity will be there. Aaron Jones is coming. Ty Montgomery will have a role in this game as well, but there's no question about it. Geronimo Allison will see 6, 7, 8 targets, and that's enough to play for me in any 12-team PPR league.
Yeah, I think the one worry is that game gets out of hand. I know Buffalo played really well last week.
He'll be in, though.
Yeah, the Buffalo played really, really well last week. Are they going to play that well again? It's Aaron Rodgers. I feel like we're going to see a huge first half maybe. So I'm hoping Allison maybe gets started hot. If he can get started hot, maybe get a touchdown in the first half, get 3 or 4 receptions, and really give you that value back, that's great. And then anything in the second half is just gravy. I'm worried we get to the second half and they try to transition to the run game a little bit more or use the running backs more because maybe they have a bigger lead. I don't know. Maybe at some point, if they do get a big lead today, they put Aaron Rodgers on the bench and keep his knee healthy. A lot of different things could happen in that game. I do think he is a good play, though. I just hope everything happens in the first half, so then in the second half, you're not sitting around worrying what if. Buffalo Bills giving up 22.77 points to wide receivers right now, so the opportunity is 100% there. I want to stick in Green Bay for just a second, though. This wasn't on the spreadsheet, so I'm going to just jump in here because it is one I want to ask about. The running back game and Green Bay. What are we doing with Aaron Jones being back? Do we like Aaron Jones the rest of the season?
I liked Aaron Jones before the season started, but I wasn't going to invest in him when I was going to see him suspended. But I have him in the DFS lineup today, and you guys, if you own him on your fantasy teams, should expect, low-end RB2 numbers from Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the most traditional and best running back on that roster. It's not even a question. It was like that last year as well. So while Ty Montgomery is a versatile player, while Jamal Williams is still there and will get some touches, Aaron Jones is going to be the 55-60% opportunity share running back, especially in the ground and pound game, especially near the goal line. It's just that simple. They absolutely love him. So as he continues to get into it a little more here this season, I think that you're going to see the opportunity share rise. You're going to see it closer to the 50%. So just look out for that. And in a game where the game script is going to be positive and they don't have to come from behind, we expect the Green Bay Packers to use a lot of Aaron Jones, and that's where you're going to see the volume. So hope that they get out to a quick lead and then run it with Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, he's the most dynamic running back that they have 100%. Jamal Williams just hasn't done enough to take the job this year either. If he could have had 2 really good weeks to start the season, I'm sure, but when you're averaging low 3 when it comes to yards per carry, you just haven't shown that dynamic play. And even Aaron Rodgers came out the other day and said, I want to see Aaron Jones on the field. So it's really exciting to hear that. Good to hear that about that. And yeah, for the rest of the season, he's a guy that I'm banking on putting up some big numbers. Health is the key, though. We want to make sure that he's healthy. Last year, it looked like he was going to run away with that job after Ty Montgomery went down. Just didn't happen. So going to keep my eye out on that for the rest of the season, too. And if you can possibly still get him cheap, try to do it. Whoever owns Aaron Jones right now is probably going to hold on and wait, though. So with those two things being down, I'm going to jump back over here real quick. So Josh Gordon looks like he's going to make his debut tonight. Are we feeling safe putting him in our lineup?
I don't know. The answer is no. The answer is if you have better options, no, you don't have to do this. You can always enjoy strong bench depth in fantasy football. You don't have to get cute or risky with that bench depth. It's nice to have it. You don't always have to employ it. It's like car insurance or health insurance. You should really have it. In most states, it's illegal not to have car insurance, but you don't ever use it, okay? You don't use your health insurance that often. You hope you don't have to use it. To me, right now, you want Josh Gordon on your bench, and you hope you don't have to use him. That's just the way I'm looking at it. If you're in a 10 or 12-team league, I don't see how you have to force him in this week. Now, if he goes bananas, don't let the hindsight bias get to you, kids. The process of analysis is if you have better options, you use them. And then if Josh Gordon breaks out this week and gets 8 targets and puts up buku fantasy points, then he's in your lineup rest of season. But don't get too cute with it if you have better options. That's my take. I don't know what Kyle has to say about that.
I don't want to get too cute either, to be honest with you. And he's not a guy that I've wanted to have in my lineup at all. But, it's intriguing, and that's why everyone's asking, do I put him in my lineup? Because, what if with Tom Brady? And typically the what if is a lot better than not. So, but you just have to be careful because it's not very often that a wide receiver steps onto a new team, learns the playbook, builds that rapport with his quarterback, and just goes out there and balls right away. So I'm being careful with them. Again, if you have better options, I go with it. Like a John Allison type. Like if you have him and Josh Gordon, I'm putting Allison in my lineup 100%, not even thinking about it. If it's a PPR league, I'm definitely going and looking for a PPR option, a guy that could build up those receptions all day long. I'm not going to bank on that big play from Josh Gordon tonight.
What about like a Quincy Enunwa type who is the target receiver on the Jets, who is a PPR guy, but has a tough matchup this week? Even in that situation, and I know it sounds reckless, because I know he's going to have the snap share, because I know he's going to be on the field, I'm still going to buy a hair roll over a guy like Enunwa over Josh Gordon. The risk of coverage and being shut down is less than the risk of just a guy getting marginalized by a snap count, which could very well be the case for Josh Gordon. Maybe not. And by the way, next week, we'll be talking about this differently if he saw an 80% snap share this week. But if he doesn't, then the analysis is correct.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's see. Let me just double check here because there was one more question I was going to ask. LaShawn McCoy, I feel you guys talked about him this morning on the show, correct, on Sirius
Yeah.
XM?
We spoke about him for a while because this is another situation. I have been RotoBaller experts, late fourth round in a 12-team PPR in a Shrewd League. I don't want LaShawn McCoy shares, but I had to get one out of like the 10 teams I have, and that's what I did. And now it's hurting me because, you know, I have Alvin Kamara as my RB1 in that league, and with guys on bye this week like Chris Thompson, I'm in big trouble. So really the question to you is, you know, if you have a fringe play, like I'm not going to use Rashad Penny over LaShawn McCoy. I don't know where the line of demarcation is of where to marginalize your risk, but it's not there. Like if you have Philip Lindsay, are you starting him over LaShawn McCoy, right? These are the problems people have. And my general thought process is LaShawn McCoy is still probably the best offensive player and talent on that roster, maybe besides the quarterback, Josh Allen. So logic would have it that a traditionally 65, 70% opportunity share running back in that scheme should get work. So if he starts, I got to start him, but I'm still scared. I'm terrified, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm terrified as well. If I have LaShawn McCoy, I'm putting him on the bench probably today.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even think I can start him. I don't even think I'd.
Where's the line? Is Rashad Penny startable over him today?
Not Rashad Penny, because after the week that Chris Carson had last week, I can't imagine that Penny's really going to get anything today. So that would be one. Like a Philip Lindsay, like who we've discussed before, someone like him. I mean, if I have a guy that can offer me flex playing numbers, I'll probably go with that guy over LaShawn McCoy because there's the issue with rib injury. So if he decides to come on off the field, if he's just not that healthy, maybe he gets out there and he plays a series and he just figures, you know what, can't do it today. Can't go for it. Can't be out here. I'm going to end up hurting myself more. Maybe the team decides to pull him off. There's just too many what ifs with him today, and I'm not wanting to put him out there, watch him play for one series, and then get the notification on my phone that he's done for the rest of the day because of his rib issues. Chris Ivory did just fine. I mean, it was really a big play last week that generated Chris Ivory's fantasy value last week, but he did just fine last week. So I don't think the Bills would have an issue switching over to Ivory and giving him more touches if it meant making sure that McCoy is healthy moving forward.
Yeah, well, for me, it's literally plays like Wendell Smallwood, desperation plays like Rashad Penny or LaShawn McCoy. So I'm just going to have to clench my butt cheeks and watch what happens.
Yeah, in that kind of a scenario, yeah, probably just go with McCoy and keep your fingers crossed for the best. So real quick before we start getting into your questions here, before we start answering them, number one, the first thing that we need you to do is we need you to hit the like button. So we have over 500 people watching right now and only 78 likes. We need to change that. We need to be well over 100 right now. And I saw Jake in the chat telling everybody to do the same thing. So follow along. Hit the like button. Let's get that up over 100 likes. If you want some questions answered, we'll be getting that to here in a second. Before we do that, though, RotoBaller viewers, we do have a cool offer for you today. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. Over at FanPicks, we're hooking you up with some freebies. So make sure you head over there, fanpicks.com/RotoBaller. If you haven't signed up yet, use the code BALLER25, and you could get $25 free to use. Every Sunday, we're hosting our DFS free roll contest called the Magic Million. So get into that. I'm in it. Raph, I don't know if you've signed up yet. Do you have a lineup in it yet?
I sure do.
Of course, Raph does. Absolutely. And Jake is out there somewhere also with a lineup in it. So you can compete against Raph, myself, Jake, RotoBaller riders, and other RotoBallers who are out there that are also fans. So lineups lock at 1 o'clock. So get on that right now. Again, fanpicks.com/RotoBaller. Get your free $25 and enter the Magic Million DFS free roll today. So let's start jumping into some of these questions, and they are flying in right now. So I'll start throwing them out here real quick. First one from Vicky wants to know Phillip Rivers or Baker Mayfield today.
That's a close one, but you always go with the veteran stud, and that is Phillip Rivers. Baker Mayfield, great play today, could finish in the top 12. Phil Rivers, the only question is he going to play the whole game or is it going to be such a blowout? I think Phillip Rivers gets his 20-plus fantasy points clean this week. You just roll him. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm going the same here. Got to play Rivers today. I've got him. Oh, where do I got Rivers at? I've got him at QB6. So
there it is.
Definitely have to have him there. So we are going. Mike wants to know if we're going to go with Kenyon Drake or Aaron Jones today. I think that's a good question.
That is a good question. This might be a don't get too cute with it type of situation, because Kenyon Drake is still the opportunity share leader right now, running back on the Dolphins. But I'm just going to be very clear about this. I'm not a Kenyon Drake guy, and I don't own any shares of him, and I like Aaron Jones more. I even like Aaron Jones more this week. So for me personally, positive game script, talent, I'm going Aaron Jones, but don't try that at home, kids. I know that that's not the popular answer.
So I'm going to be a little bit more bold with it. And I said, I'm going Aaron Jones 100%
Woo!
and discussing it, not even worried about it. Yeah, Kenyon Drake, when we did our start sit video for running backs this week, I said don't play him. Not after last week when he had all of like 7 touches for 10 yards or something like that.
Unacceptable.
It was bad. And he was a guy that I wasn't on before the season. I just didn't like him. I know you and Josh definitely had quite a few Kenyon Drake debates over on RotoBaller Radio.
Shout out to Josh Hayes, aka Magic Mike. I mean, the dude is good at fantasy football, but sometimes the running backs that he likes, I don't like them, and I don't like Kenyon Drake. By the way, Kenyon Drake wasn't a mega producer in college. There was no reason that in the NFL he should have been a force-fed bell cow running back. At best, a complimentary running back, and that's what we're seeing, kids. I'm sorry. Even his own team doesn't believe in him to that level. So calm down with Kenyon Drake out there.
Yeah, 100% Aaron Jones for me, not even a question. So, but it was a good question to ask.
Sure.
So someone wants to know, Carl wants to know, Calvin Ridley or Demaryius Thomas?
Listen, I like Demaryius Thomas, but he's on the wrong side of his career. Calvin Ridley in a game that has almost the same totals as that Denver-Kansas City game, I'm going Calvin Ridley, and I'm doing it every time.
Yeah, also going Calvin Ridley. I don't think that I can ignore that touchdown upside for him because, and I say he could end up being a streaky player the rest of the year because Julio Jones is going to get the catches and he's going to get the yards most weeks, but it's those touchdowns. It's like they've reversed roles. So those touchdowns that Julio Jones should be getting are going to end up going to Calvin Ridley. So he could end up having 10 touchdowns this year. Easy. He's already at 4. So yeah, I'm starting Calvin Ridley this week. Let's go. Chris wants to know Alex Collins or Carlos Hyde in a PPR league.
It's not even close. It's Carlos Hyde, even with the game script in the favor of the Ravens. It's just Alex Collins is not going to be on the field for those. It's going to be Buck Allen, and Carlos Hyde's a beast.
So I have Carlos Hyde at running back 11 right now, and I have Alex Collins at running back 15. I think the thing that sways it to Carlos Hyde for me is the fact that Pittsburgh's going to be putting up a lot of points this week, so there's a chance that you see a little bit more Buck Allen. Although I have written about the Alex Collins, Buck Allen backfield more than enough this week to know that I'm still not buying that Alex Collins is not going to be the lead back moving forward or have the most value. And I know he's an imposter at running back 2 for you, but I cannot
fraud
Collins traits.
I like to use more harsh words. I'm just going to say this. He's the better talent at pure running, but because of the compiling ability of Javorius Allen, because the coach of that team has said that Javorius Allen is an underrated, really good running back in the NFL that he personally loves, because he's still getting goal line touches, and we expect him to be in for 2-minute drives and those kinds of situations. In PPR leagues, at the very least, Javorius Allen cannot be ignored. He's got like a flex running back appeal floor every single week while he's healthy.
So let me ask you this. I just made a trade. I don't know if you saw it yet in the RotoBaller Expert.
Uh-oh, should I look?
Traded the other night to Pierre. I traded Buck Allen for Quincy Enunwa.
It's a great deal. It's very fair. You needed a wide receiver, I assume, right?
Yeah, with Marquise Goodwin and the injury to Jimmy G, I wanted to reinforce my wide receivers a little bit and got Enunwa. And I had decent depth. Ezekiel Elliott, Kerryon Johnson, Sonny Michel. So I think I'll end up being okay.
I think you made the right move. Both of those guys are on the come, as Josh Hayes likes to say. I don't like that expression, but you know what it means. And the bottom line is that you definitely took about 14 points per game in PPR and traded it for 14 points a game in PPR. You just moved it at a different position. Those aren't challenge trades. Those are addressing needs. If you traded a running back for a running back, I don't like that. But you did the right move there. And while you're my competitor in this league, this is a shrewd league. I like this league. It's one of the hardest, the RotoBaller Experts.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Lost the first week, trying to bounce back with a couple wins. Pierre and I are actually playing each other this week.
Ooh.
Beat it. So I'm trying to give him his first loss on the year. Let's
shout out to Camus.
So Andy wants to know if we're gonna start Fournette or Yeldon today. I have to go Fournette pretty easy on that one.
Yeah, next question. But yes, but it's a good question, but next question, because it's Fournette. Fournette is a 70% opportunity share running back when he's healthy. That's it.
All right, TPJ Gaming wants to know Kerryon Johnson, Tariq Cohen, or Sonny Michel. Doesn't list if it's PPR or not. I think that kind of helps drive that conversation a little bit. So we'll just talk half PPR. We'll just assume.
I think Kerryon Johnson is still part of a committee, but so is Sonny Michel. So I'm going to go with the guy who's already one of the NFL rushing leaders, and it's Kerryon Johnson. And for me, it's not because I'm so high on him, but out of that group, I think he's the least risky. I think all those guys have a chance this week for sure.
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson, I listed as a must start for me this week. I know the Dallas Cowboys were really tough the first 2 weeks against Barkley and McCaffrey, but last week they got shredded by Chris Carson. They just don't have.
No Sean Lee.
Yeah, no Sean Lee this week. This is a game that could be just really balanced on both sides. I mean, the Cowboys are going to try and attack the Lions with Ezekiel Elliott. I could see the Lions doing the same thing. It just, Matt Patricia, what are you doing over there? Are you going to give Kerryon Johnson his fair share? And I sent a tweet out about it yesterday. Of all the running backs in the league that have at least 40 touches and average 5.5 yards per touch, Kerryon Johnson at 39 yards is in a group with Melvin Gordon. He's in a group with Christian McCaffrey. Todd Gurley is an group. Adrian Peterson's there. TJ Yeldon is there. So he's being effective. We just need to give him the volume and get him going on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that guy is definitely going to be an RB2 stable in PPR leagues, I think, rest of season. A low end at worst, but that's still a good floor. RB2s are RB2s. Let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. If you have Kerryon Johnson, enjoy that. Plug him in there.
Let's see here. Someone wants to know, are we going, Dylan wants to know Chris Hogan or Davis in PPR, assuming
Corey Davis.
That's what I'm going to say.
This is a tough one because now Josh Gordon's taking the field. Chris Hogan might get, top cornerback coverage here. And I still think Corey Davis is a guy who's going to get target volume. Now, Rashard Matthews is gone, but now we have a couple of other guys in the mix there. I'm probably going Hogan, but I don't feel comfortable about it. I want the guy attached to Tom Brady, but I don't feel that comfortable about it this week.
Let's go here, Dave. Yeah, so that one's a little bit tough for me. I'm like right split on those guys.
Me too.
Ooh, this is going for Jacob wants to know Hilton or Fuller in PPR. Fuller's been lighting it up. Him and Watson have that connection, and I doubted at the beginning of the season, but I didn't want to let that question pass. What are we doing there?
You're making a trade. How do you have to make that decision? I want to kill myself. That's the thing is like Will Fuller is getting like 8-9 targets right now. So he's actually T.Y. Hiltoning around. The one problem with T.Y. Hilton is he's getting double coverage. Andrew Luck's not weaponized enough. So there's no drawing of coverage off of T.Y. And T.Y. is not this 6'3" Kenny Galladay type of receiver. He's a smaller, quicker guy. And when double coverage suffocates him, it's tough. Whereas you're dealing with another situation there where Will Fuller's one of two. He's got the deep ball game going. And honestly, he's T.Y. Hilton right now. He's what we want out of T.Y. Hilton because DeAndre Hopkins is drawing number one coverage.
I literally have them back to back. I have Will Fuller at wide receiver 16 and T.Y. Hilton at wide receiver.
I love T.Y. you guys know I love T.Y., but T.Y.'s going to have two defenders draped on him, like hanging on to him like parasites all day today.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Will Fuller since I've just a notch above. I'll go that route with it. Let's see.
Game stack that, guys, in DFS. Game stack that game. Go ahead.
So Brent. Oh, shout out to my man Brent. One of my long-standing buddies in a lot of my dynasty leagues. So full PPR. He wants to know Callaway or Deshaun Jackson.
For me, it's Antonio Callaway. I want no part of that Bears defense. Zero part. The pass rush. The ragdoll effect that's going to happen on Fitzpatrick or anyone who makes it through there. I don't care who starts. Anyone who's playing in that game against the Bears is going to suffer today. I'm going for sure the other side of that.
Anytime that I get to answer Antonio Callaway to a question, I get so excited. My insides get warm, and it's just the best feeling in the world. So everyone knows how much I love Antonio Callaway. Going with him here as well. The switch to Baker Mayfield is amazing. The guy has such an opportunity this year. It definitely going him 100% here. So we want to know, Brett wants to know, he needs to fix his flex. He's got Aaron Jones, Keelan Cole, Sammy Watkins, or Tyler Boyd. He also owns AJ Green in a 10-team standard.
Yeah, you can't have them all in 10-team leagues. AJ Green has to be started every week. Tyler Boyd's just a breakout candidate. But Sammy Watkins got paid huge. He's getting the work, and he's attached to Pat Mahomes. You follow the money, you follow the volume, you follow the talent. I don't really own Sammy Watkins anywhere this year, but if I did, I'd be starting him. AJ Green, Sammy Watkins, and then the rest of them. So
I would really be debating back and forth between Aaron Jones and Sammy Watkins this week.
That's fair.
Sammy Watkins coming off a good week last week. Are we in a standard league? Are we too dependent on him finding the end zone, though?
It's possible. I think that volume guys are tricky in non PPR, because in one hand, volume still translates to opportunity, but sometimes volume as a possession guy doesn't equal the same. But the thing is, Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill are not really possession receivers. That's the amazing part. These guys are big play, streakers with speed, agile wide receivers. So I don't view Sammy Watkins as a risk in standard leagues. I view him as a rich man's Deshaun Jackson, who is similar archetype streaker, big play guy, but with a better offense and more skills.
I feel like this is how I would answer the question. If you're down or if you're the underdog in your opponent, go with Watkins, because it offers the ceiling. And if you find yourself up, or you have a nice lead, or you think that you're going to get out of this matchup pretty easily, you just need a decent performance, then I probably go with Aaron Jones, because I think he offers a little bit better floor in standard league running back.
Yeah, he might see the end zone twice this week. Aaron Jones, I'm going to make this clear. And if you watch Game Day from last year, when the Green Bay Packers get anywhere near the goal line, anywhere near it today, Aaron Jones is getting the ball. They just don't need to do it any other way. Aaron Rodgers is paid guaranteed money. Unlike other quarterbacks who feel the need to pad stats and call their own numbers, he doesn't do that. He's going to just do this. Here, score the touchdown.
So here's a super important question that we need to answer. Sup A Kiki wants to know if we like fruit punch or half and half iced tea.
Oh, it's not even close. Half and half iced tea is the best.
Yes, I 100% agree. So let's take a second. So lots of questions still coming in. Continue to drop those questions. We're not going to miss those at all. We'll keep going through those the rest of the day. But just want to jump back over here real quick and kind of reset the show. We're at the halfway mark real quick. Just want to double check on some of those injuries. So again, we know at wide receiver, we know DeAndre Hopkins is going to be in today. We know Keenan Allen is going to be in today. Doug Baldwin is going to be in. Josh Gordon is the biggest question mark. He is going to be in, but what do we do for him? So those are the ones that Golden Tate as well. It looks like he will be playing today. Out for wide receivers, Devontae Parker, Randall Cobb, Anthony Miller. Randall Cobb being out means you give a huge boost to Allison, so we both like him this week. Over at running back, officially out right now, Marlon Mack, Corey Clement, the two that we were really keeping an eye on. Also going along with that, Darren Sproles is out. So Jay Ajayi, he is in the game today. He's going to get the workload. I'm not worried about Wendell Smallwood. I'm nervous about it, but I'm not at the same time. Leonard Fournette is playing today. If you own him, he is in your lineup. Don't double guess yourself. This guy should be in there. Matt Breida, Alfred Morris, also both in there today. Matt Breida, I like a lot this week. Last year, Carlos Hyde had almost 5 more targets a game. DJ Beathard was on the field with him than when they switched over to Jimmy Garoppolo. So I could see Breida in for a huge workload this week. I really like him, especially since they've said he's probably healthier than Morris right now, too.
Kyle Juszczyk also going to get some targets, but that's not fantasy viable.
Yeah. And then LaShawn McCoy also has been questionable with his ribs. He will play today. We've talked about him a little bit already. I'm iffy on him. We'll see what happens with that. I want to see him this week before I make a lot of decisions about him moving forward. Rob Gronkowski, late ad, he is questionable, but it looks like he will be playing. So no issues there. When are we going to see Gronk be Gronk again? That's the question. Are we going to have to wait for Edelman to get back, or is this guy going to start playing soon?
Definitely, when Edelman's going across the middle, he's not. You can't double cover Gronkowski as easily, and that we're going to possibly see that happen twice over in the next 2 weeks. Now you have Josh Gordon taking the field, and then you're going to eventually get Julian Edelman back. And that's exactly how it opens up for Gronk. So James White, his role is going to start scaling back. Sony Michel's role is going to scale up. And when you see eventually Julian Edelman getting into the game, you're going to see Hogan, Edelman, Gronk, and Josh Gordon. And that's when you're going to see those huge games from Gronk, because it's just going to be too much for defenses to handle. It's all about weaponized quarterbacks. The more options a quarterback has, the more the defense has to pay attention and scheme for it. And I'm sorry to be blunt, but the Patriots don't have such prolific weaponry on the field over the first 3 games of the season. So they've been able to double team Gronk and get away with it. That's how teams scheme.
We haven't talked about it a whole lot yet, but I want to stay with the Patriots here for a second. So Rex Burkhead done.
Sad.
What are we doing with Sonny Michel at this point? Do we think he is legit safe running back too with some upside, or are we worried about James White too much for that to happen?
He's not a safe running back two with upside this week. He may be rest of season, but
guys, okay, that's what I meant. Sorry, rest of season.
Well, right. So just the caveat of that, because I don't want people starting him this week expecting that. If you have a desperation play, go ahead and do that. But if not, use your better option. Again, enjoy your bench depth, enjoy the breakout. But like I said, James White last year was on a milk carton by week 8, 9, or 10, around the time when Rex Burkhead got back from an injury and took over that opportunity share. James White is just getting, warmed up for the playoff run and the Super Bowl run. It's going to be the Sony Michel show probably next week and moving forward. And or if they get out to a heavy lead in any game, they're going to run it and positive game script them like they're going to do with Aaron Jones in Green Bay. But I cannot promise you Sony Michel does anything this week. I just cannot promise you that. Not more than 8 or 9 fantasy points.
Yeah, I've got him in my lineup ready to go in a couple of leagues where we do have a little bit more depth that we have to play with. But yeah, this again, I want to see. He got so much volume last week that that the Patriots are going to want to use him.
They will.
Draft capital and just options at this point. James White is not a running back that's going to get that kind of volume. I mean, he's great in PPR leagues. He's going to have that option for a touchdown, whether it be receiving or running the ball. I mean, the guy can just put up huge games at will, it seems like. It just depends on how he's used. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I want to be careful with it because I don't want to get too excited about it being the Patriots, like a lot of fantasy owners seem to do. Hey, Patriots, let's roll with it. They're going to put up good numbers, but they just haven't looked like the Patriots yet this year. So a gentleman coming back is going to be a really good thing for them. We'll have to see how that offense clicks the rest of the way. And I don't know, maybe Josh Gordon can step in and stretch the field and be a guy that really helps open things up for everybody.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what Josh Gordon does. I hope that you Josh Gordon truthers out there get what you want out of him, but I also hope it's on your bench this week and you're making smart sit-start decisions with him.
Yeah, so typically at this time, Jake out there listening, we would save this for Let It Flow, where Jake puts on the helmet and rapid fires some questions. So Jake, though, not with us this week, so we're not going to be doing that. But Jake has already promised that we will do an extra long Let It Flow segment next week. So for those of you who are avid watchers, we appreciate it. Jump in next week when Jake is back, and you're going to see some fireworks with that one. But we're going to get back to answering some questions because that is what we are here for, is to help you out. Troy Porter asking, is Carson playing today? Yes, everything I see says that he will be playing today.
Don't be surprised, though, if they get out to a big lead, if Carson, sits around for a quarter or so, and then it's just a question of how much Mike Davis, Rashad Penny you're going to see. But yes, Carson's playing, but that kind of volume, Kyle, if they give him 30 carries a week, he's not going to make it through the season. So eventually this team is going to have to give Rashad Penny 10, 15 touches a game in order to save Chris Carson. That's my personal opinion, by the way.
Yeah. So. And I know we both felt the same way about Rashad Penny coming into the season. We both liked him in this spot, and it
hasn't happened.
2 weeks ago, when he got a majority of the touches, it looked like, okay, here we go. We're headed in that direction. And then all of a sudden, bam. Last week, Carson touches the ball more than 90% of the time. So it's a weird situation there. I don't trust it. And I'm hoping Penny at some point offers value, but it might be more of a long-term play like for Dynasty Leagues. I don't know if we'll see it this year or not.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but, keep rolling them.
All right. Joshua wants to know, are we starting Goodwin or Lockett today? I feel like that's a Lockett for sure in PPR leagues or even overall.
It's overall. Tyler Lockett's been undervalued and not spoken about enough. This guy was, a player that a lot of people expected to be a post-type snoozer over the last couple of years, and he's finally doing it. Similar to a Randall Cobb early in his career archetype, a little bit of that quickness and agility. I like Tyler Lockett. I just think that he's like a high-end WR3, low-end WR2 in PPR, and I think that's going to continue even when Doug Baldwin takes the field.
Nice. All right, let's grab some more here real quick. Daniel wants to know Geronimo Allison or Keelan Cole in a PPR league. That's
close. Yeah, I mean, it's close for a lot. I'm going Allison, but Keelan Cole, I think, is going to have 14 points this week.
Okay. I do like Keelan Cole a lot. I feel like I'm definitely one of his top truthers since last season, but I feel just with this week going Allison pretty easy in my book for me. My name is Jeff wants to know Alex Collins or Sony Michel this week.
Is that PPR? Does he say?
He does not say.
I'm probably going Sony Michel. I'm sorry, guys. I think that the game script is going to be in Buck Allen's favor. If the Steelers get out to a lead, you're not going to see that much Alex Collins on the field.
So I got to double check this one. I got to see where I have these two yet. So Sony Michel I have at running back 18, Alex Collins at running back 15 at Pittsburgh. I feel like the safer bet for me is going to be Alex Collins personally. So that's the way that I would roll, especially if it's standard. If it's PPR, then I might move towards Sonny a little bit more.
Yeah, Alex Collins is the smart play if you want safety. I just think that they're so close, those two players, that I'm going with a little bit of the upside play. Sony Michel could have 25 touches this week.
I got another one here. Austin wants to know if we're going Lamar Miller or Golden Tate. Doesn't say PPR standard though.
Standard Lamar Miller, PPR, Golden Tate. Golden Tate's a must start every week if he takes the field in PPR.
Yep, I agree with that. Lord wants to know a defensive question. Do we go with the Cleveland Browns or San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers today?
It's the Chargers. The Browns are prolific. The Browns are the more talented unit. The Chargers have the best opportunity to run up a score today. So I just like the Browns rest of the season. I love the Chargers stream today.
Chargers I have as my number 3 defense this week against San Francisco. Only Jacksonville and Chicago ahead of them. Sergio wants to know if we're going with Calvin Ridley or Godwin this week.
That's a great question.
It is full PPR.
We got this on the air today too. For me, it's not even this week. You can't, if you have a choice to go around Godwin, you could do that. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bench Godwin whenever possible this week. So that's my answer. But I love Godwin rest of season. Just today, it's going to be tough on the road against that Chicago defense.
Let's see here real quick. Are we going with Tyler Boyd or Mike Williams flex play for PPR?
Oh God, that's so tough. Honestly, guys, I'm sorry to do this. It's Mike Williams. Tyler Boyd's the man, but Mike Williams was a first-round pick last year. He's showed up 2 weeks in a row, and I just think he's the 1A, 1B right now, similar to Calvin Ridley and what we're seeing there in Atlanta. So Tyler Boyd's great, but Mike Williams is a little better.
Yeah, this week I asked myself, does Mike Williams take away from Keenan Allen more than Tyler Boyd takes away from A.J. Green? And I think that Williams takes away a little bit more from Allen this week, especially if he is a little bit banged up and maybe this week. So, and then I think the touchdown upside is better this week for Mike Williams as well. So I will go with Mike Williams.
Good questions, guys.
Adrian wants to know TJ Yeldon or Bilal Powell and half PPR.
Bilal Powell.
I'm going to go with Powell as well, especially with Fournette being back. Scrolling down here some more. Big Ben or Matt Ryan this week?
Oh, guys, both great options. Just be a little bit, tempered on what you're going to get in general out of Matt Ryan every single week. That being said, he's home this week. So when Matt Ryan is at home, I like Matt Ryan a lot, and I'm going Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I have to go Matt Ryan at home too. Completely agree with that one. Austin wants to know if we're starting Saquon Barkley. I feel like every week you should start.
Stop trolling us. Stop trolling
Yes,
us.
Austin. Barkley PPR, 100%. Don't even.
Barkley's one of the best running backs in the league. I think that's it's become evident very quickly.
PPR, Gio Bernard or Lamar Miller. Gio for me.
Yep. Gio. He's going to be chalk in DFS too.
Let's see. Are we going with Quincy Enunwa or Keelan Cole in PPR from Starscream?
This is like the third. I have to make that sit-start decision in one of my dynasty leagues, and I'm actually going to bench Godwin for Enunwa and then use Cole and him. So was that the question, Enunwa or Cole?
Yeah.
Wow. It's literally a coin flip. Both average 14 points a game in PPR leagues. I'm going Cole this week because Enunwa is going to have the tougher coverage.
Yep, exactly. I agree 100% on that one. Scroll back down here. Tons of questions coming in right now. Standard leagues, we have to pick 2. Golden Tate, Mike Williams, or Allen Robinson.
Oh, my God. I mean, guys, you got to start Golden Tate and Allen Robinson. I mean, in that case, you kind of do. But the problem is I don't like Mitchell Trubisky, and I don't like anything attached to him. Mike Williams has such a good matchup this week that I can make the case. And I know that Tate is the one that's banged up, but if Tate puts on a uniform, he's in your lineup. Is Allen Robinson a must start for you? He's a volume play, that's for sure. But
yeah, he's a volume play, and we talked about him this weekend, our start show for wide receivers, and I have him in my lineup this week. If I own him, I have to put him out there. And I don't think there is a ton of weeks where you feel safe with Allen Robinson. I feel like this is a week where the volume could end up helping you out.
Yeah, at the very worst, if the Bears defense doesn't hold up today, Allen Robinson's going to get even more volume. So we'll see. We'll see if Tampa could somehow run up a score. Then Allen Robinson's a smart play. The problem is when you have those three guys, honestly, Kyle, I feel like they all need to be in your lineup. So Mike Williams was the lottery ticket. You clearly drafted the other two ahead of him. It's just so tough to bench Allen Robinson and Golden Tate. It's really hard. It's just really hard.
Lil Uzi wants to know PPR. Are we going Ridley or Galladay?
Oh, it's Kenny Galladay in this situation only because Kenny Galladay is a man, and this is a second year in the league. He's a man. He's a large man, and it's a second year in the league, and he's probably the best wide receiver on the Detroit Lions.
All right. Blake wants to know, he's being driven crazy right now. He needs some help big time. Let's hear it, Kyle and Raph. Non-PPR, Demaryius Thomas or Sterling Shepard, driving him crazy. Please help. 3-0. Need this up. Anyone in the chat?
Hey, listen, with Evan Ingram out, there's a lot of opportunity, and the smart money tells you to follow those targets, but he's not a primary option. And the problem with Sterling Shepard is I like the target volume for PPR. I don't know if I'm comfortable with it in standard. Kyle, that's not my profile type of player for standard league, so I'm going to defer to you on this one.
It's not mine either, but with Evan Ingram being out, I think we end up going that route today. I think we do, and I think we do that and then hope he gets in the end zone at some point. I mean, OBJ hasn't found the end zone yet this year, so maybe that trend continues and Shepard can end up getting a touchdown catch. But I think the opportunity with Evan Ingram being out is just too good for Sterling Shepard to put him on the bench this week.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I have a full Giants game stack in for one of my 6 Millie Maker lineups. Shepard's in there, but that's a PPR format. I don't think it's a bad play this week. Most people in the industry will tell you Sterling Shepard in all formats is a great play this week. So go ahead, use him. He's a good wide receiver. It's all about opportunity, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's go back down here. Tight end PPR. Are we going with OJ Howard or David Njoku?
So close. OJ Howard's been a man, though. He's been a man. Mm-hmm. That's one thing where, like, you look at it, both guys are the same kind of breakout potential, but only one of them has done it because he's getting the target volume. And it's tough for me to say no to Njoku, who I'm going to have in multiple lineups of my own. But OJ Howard has been the more stable producer this year. So for me, it's OJ Howard.
Definitely wrong heading into the season about OJ Howard, because I've always said that this guy will be a really, really, really good real-life tight end, but I don't know if the fantasy value will ever correlate. I also thought the running game was going to be a little bit better than what it was this year, and they were going to work out the backfield a bit more. That hasn't even come close to happening, although Ronald Jones is going to be active today. Yeah. Is going to be active today. Another question, though, where I have these two players directly next to each other. OJ Howard at tight end 10, David Njoku at tight end 11. So I'm going to go Howard against Chicago today.
Trust your process, guys. # trust your process. We don't know what's going to happen. Just make smart decisions. Njoku next week could be a must start after an 18-point performance with 6 or 7 targets and a touchdown. But we haven't seen that yet. So let Baker Mayfield turn him into a star, and then he's a must start.
Dean wants to know if we're going Keelan Cole, John Brown, or Golden Tate. He does not list if it's PPR or not. Tate. I think that's it. Is it Tate? Okay. John Brown has played so well, and they have such a good matchup tonight that I thought maybe John Brown over Golden Tate might end up being an option.
I don't want to be a bully of fantasy analysis here. This is an open discussion. But the one thing about Golden Tate that I'll never stop realizing and talking about is he's a slot receiver who gets WR1 volume, and that's always a mismatch for the opposing defenses. And even in non-PPR leagues, Golden Tate still has that ability to play like a WR2. He's on the field 90% of his snaps this year, 19.4% hog rate. That's snaps per targets per snap. He's 9th in the league in targets per snap. I still got to go Golden Tate.
Yeah, and that's what I would go as well. So I wanted to get your take on that, especially with those two being an interesting option. If the Ravens were playing anyone else, I would probably not have even considered it. But because of that matchup, because of the likelihood of a lot of points being scored, I think John Brown's a little bit more being considered at that point. But I don't think Golden Tate is ever a sit, unless it's a standard league and you have high upside guys above him. I mean, always have him in the lineup.
Isn't that like the getting cute? Like in hindsight, if John Brown scores more points, you guys are going to be upset. But in foresight, if you make that John Brown over Golden Tate and then Golden Tate scores 3 or 4 more points, which is what we expect him to do at minimum, you're going to be mad at yourself. So I think that falls under getting too cute. I think John Brown's a great bench asset, but I think Golden Tate has to be started.
Yeah, absolutely. Over 600 people watching right now. Only 201 likes though. So people,
Let's go.
hit that like button. We've got 10 minutes left in the show.
Hearts.
Boost this thing
Yeah,
all
whatever.
the way. Let's boost this thing all the way back up to the top for the last few minutes here. Again, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you're watching right now, please do so. We're dropping 5, 6 shows a week. We're looking at risers and fallers, weekly review shows, sit shows for every single position, wire shows dropping on Tuesday mornings, lots of great stuff, or Monday mornings, depends on when we schedule it, but early in the week, so keep an eye out for all of that great stuff. Raph's probably going to be doing some live streaming stuff here really soon.
Yeah, Monday evenings.
Yep, on Monday evening, so please keep an eye out for that. I might be joining him. I don't know. I'm trying to work logistics out right now.
Please do.
We'll see how that plays out. Hit that like button. Let's shoot this video up the ranks. We're going to get to some more questions here in just a second. 10 minutes left. Just want to remind everyone really quick, over at FanPicks, fanpicks.com/RotoBaller. If you head over there right now and sign up with the code RotoBaller, Baller25, Baller25, you get a free $25 deposited right now, and you can jump in our Magic Million DFS free roll contest today. Raph is in it, I am in it, Jake is in it, all of our RotoBaller riders are in it. You can compete against us and win some free prizes. Lineups lock at 1 o'clock though, so you got to get over there right away and get that done. So check that out if you can. Let's jump to a few more questions here right away.
By the way, a lot of Cincy Atlanta exposure in my lineup there in that tournament. Wink, wink. So, yes.
So are we going, Brent wants to know, are we going Sonny Michel or Philip Lindsay for Flex PPR today?
It's Philip Lindsay for me still this week. If we see a bed pooing and we see a role reversal in terms of Sonny Michel being the real true workhorse there over James White in terms of touches, then it's that. But I still think Philip Lindsay was just in an outlier situation when he got removed from the game, still in a 50% opportunity share split. Probably right now the more PPR-friendly back in that offense. For me in PPR, Philip Lindsay.
Are we worried that Vance Joseph could pull the plug on him this week and punish him, quote unquote, for his actions last week?
He could, or he could continue to reward the guy who impressed him the entire preseason, who put out Devontae Booker to pasture. And I believe when I have interviewed guys like Brian Westbrook who tell me this, when an NFL coach finds a versatile player that he can get a lot of in various schemes, they use him. And I think Philip Lindsay is that. He's a runner. He's a pass catcher. He was a prolific college producer. And I think the coach likes him. The coach wants to win games. He puts his ego to the side. Philip Lindsay has a role in the offense.
Yep. This one, Royce Freeman from Iron Man. Royce Freeman or Geronimo Allison in Flex PPR?
Do you answer it? Yep. There
Allison.
it is. There it is.
Easy for me on that one. Lamar Miller or Matt Breida in PPR? That's Breida for me. Yeah, pretty easy there too. Full PPR, choose two. Doug Baldwin, Josh Gordon, Corey Davis, or Antonio Callaway. Ooh, I think that's a tough one. I think that is a tough question.
Who was Antonio Callaway, Josh Gordon. Who were the other two?
Doug Baldwin and Corey Davis.
Guys, I think you could put Doug Baldwin on the bench today. I think, okay. For me in this matchup, I mean, you got to start Callaway, right? Out of those four. I'm going to also reserve some of that risk on Josh Gordon today. I don't know, man. It's really close for me with Doug Baldwin. Are you feeling like Doug Baldwin out of these four starts?
Yeah, Trey, I personally would be okay putting Doug Baldwin in this scenario because I'm not going to trust Josh Gordon over him, and I'm not really going to trust Corey Davis either. So I would go Callaway and Baldwin.
Listen, it wouldn't surprise me if Corey Davis scored 14, 15 fantasy points today, but I'm not 100% sure yet where this offense is. To me, it's in the dumps. So I'm not trusting this offense to produce fantasy value, unfortunately.
Yeah. Let's go here real quick.
By the way, Deion Lewis should be a stud, and he's not. The Titans are a mess.
Yeah. Aaron Jones or LaShawn McCoy?
Aaron Jones this week. Aaron Jones. It's close, guys. LaShawn McCoy was the draft capital investment. Aaron Jones is a smart play this week.
All right, Alex, I got you here. Let's see. You need some help. Eckler or Sonny Michel, full PPR?
Eckler's got a role in this offense, and Melvin Gordon might not see a lot of the field in the second half. I don't like it, but Melvin Gordon's eating anyway, so I'm just going to tell you the smart play is Austin Eckler.
I think I differ a little bit. I think I would go Michel just for overall volume. That would be my play. I think Eckler has the potential for larger, not volume, but more points. But I think Sonny Michel will end up getting the more volume, thus more opportunity to put up those points. So
By the way,
definitely go Michel.
RotoBaller Sit Start Tool has Sony Michel by a lot here. So I'm
Does
probably
it?
just hallucinating. Yeah, we got Sony Michel aggregate staff rankings in PPR at 43 this week, Austin Eckler at 76. You know what? I'm probably bugging a little bit here. I just think Austin Eckler is a safe 11, 12 fantasy points per week in PPR, but I would not fault anyone for going Sony Michel there. I wouldn't.
All right. Can Jonna need some help? Please, Kyle, we've got you here. Please answer Larry Fitz or Jay Ajayi in the flex today. I'm going Ajayi.
Yeah, me too. Guys, Larry Fitzgerald's not a WR1. He's not even averaging WR1 targets. He's like at 5.5 targets per game. That needs to go up if you want a PPR monster. He's not a PPR monster right now.
Kirk is asking Juju or Boyd. Kirk.
Juju every week over almost everyone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's not a question, but just Juju should be in your lineup every single time. Don't worry about it.
Juju is Antonio Brown now. And trust me, I like Antonio Brown. But Juju Smith-Schuster is Antonio Brown Jr. Enjoy that.
Dana wants to know Eckler or Lindsey in standard leagues.
Ooh, both are PPR archetype satellite backs.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, you answer this. Let me run this. Philip Lindsay or Austin Eckler in standard?
Yep, in standard. I would personally go with Lindsey probably. That would be my pick.
So drum roll, please. RotoBaller aggregate staff rankings for the week in standard. Have them close, but Philip Lindsay at 45, Austin Eckler at 58.
All right, so that's what the RotoBaller start sit tool.
Wisdom of the crowd, guys. Wisdom of the crowd.
Okay. Mark wants to know Zeke or Bernard.
Zeke for sure, but
Every
Gio
time.
Bernard is definitely a strong play this week.
Yeah.
I want to know who else you're starting if you can't get Gio Bernard into your lineup.
Yes, exactly. Let's see here real quick.
That's got to be like a 10-team, like no flex league or something like that.
Colton's throwing this question out to you in particular. He wants to know it. You keep seeing Tate, but are we going with Tyler Boyd or Golden Tate this week?
Well, that's an interesting one because you really haven't given me too many good options until then. That I can say is a coin flip, and then in which case I could tell you Tyler Boyd is a safer play because Tyler Boyd is going to get his 6 or 7 targets guaranteed this week. And even though Golden Tate will as well, Golden Tate is 1 of 3, Tyler Boyd's 1 of 2. I like Tyler Boyd a little better this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're closing in on the end of the show right now, so let's go ahead. I got to run through my list real quick. We're doing Kyle's Crushers at the end of every show right now. We don't have much time, so I'm going to fly through them real quick, and we'll give you an update next week on where I currently stand with those. But again, these are guys that I 100% am locking in to perform better than the expert consensus rankings this week. I've got Matthew Stafford currently at QB 12. I think he's going to perform higher than that. Leonard Fournette at running back 13, I have higher than that. Chris Carson at running back 16, I have higher. Sterling Shepard at wide receiver 25, I'm going higher than that. Michael Crabtree at wide receiver 38, I'm going higher. Geronimo Allison at wide receiver 37, I'm going higher. And George Kittle at tight end 12, I'm going higher. Typically, I have a lot of explanations as to why I'm going those guys, but we're running out of time this week because we've been answering so many questions. So we'll come back to all of that next week, and I'll jump into it more for you then. As we start getting ready to wrap up the show, though, please make sure if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, hit subscribe. Do that right now. Tons of content throughout the week. Definitely don't want to miss any of that. Make sure you go to rotoballer.com to get all of your fantasy football needs, any fantasy sports needs, really. Make sure you go over there. All of our articles, our waiver wire articles dropping at the beginning of every week. Raph's got it right there on the shirt. Go
There it is.
there, download the RotoBaller Fantasy Football app too. You can get all of your updates on injury news, breaking news. Articles are right there. Waiver wire stuff is right there. Everything you need right in one easy, clean app. Make sure you're doing all that as well. And Raph, I want to make sure before we get out of here, tell the people where they can find you because they can find you really anywhere at this point. But
Well, relax. That's your thing, right? When Kyle comes on RotoBaller Radio, he's introduced as, and I quote myself, if you have an internet connection, you can find this man. Just search for Kyle Richardson. But yes, I am certainly in a lot of places as well. Weekday mornings on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio from 6 to 7 a.m. with Magic Mike Hayes. Of course, Sundays from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio for the Game Day show. And hopefully here we're going to start a Monday night stream. We've been working out the kinks. Kyle's showing me the ropes. So you're going to see this beautiful face for about a 20 or 30-minute quick strike lightning round waiver wire pickup show on Monday evenings here on RotoBaller YouTube as well. So much love to all you subscribers. Keep them coming. Keep the questions coming. We love you guys in this community. Make sure you're checking out the free chat community also at rotoballer.com. Probably the biggest and the best in this industry. So we appreciate you guys for making it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Joe, I see you out there using the hashtag never Crabtree. I'm breaking it for 1 week. I'm going Crabtree for 1 week.
In PPR, we're okay.
We'll go back to hashtag never Crabtree after that. But Raph, again, thanks so much for joining us this week. Appreciate you stepping in for Jake. A great show. Hopefully we got a lot of questions answered. Hopefully we helped everybody out this week. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, right here. Check out the Roto Revolution. Check out the Fantasy Bomb. Check out everything on RotoBaller YouTube. And we will make sure that we catch you all next week. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you then.
Later, guys.